Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
On in here.
Yes.
It's Fight Song Friday here on Mix Shots.
Oh, you gotta love it.
This gets you fired up. It gets you fired up for football, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Everson Walls is not fired up for football, apparently. He called in sick today. I don't know if he's sick or not, but he called in.
It's a holdout.
Yeah, that's right.
He's holding in and holding out at the same time. There's a negotiation going on here with Everson.
He's at that undisclosed place in New Mexico.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's not here, but he does have his picks.
That's what I would always say last year. He would never tell us where he was going, so I'm going. There's a secret
It's typically
spot
on a Fight Song Friday, too.
Yeah.
So this is becoming a habit. This is 2 in a row now that Everson has not been here. We're keeping track. But we did send his picks in, and so we, of course, will have our picks to click. We are a couple of days now away from the home opener, a high noon kickoff at AT&T Stadium against the New York Football Giants. By the way, it's the first time that the Cowboys have played the Giants in a noon game at home since 2005. 2005 season's the last time the Cowboys and Giants at AT&T Stadium or Texas Stadium did not merit a 3:25 or later kickoff.
And in I understand it's become popular, the 1,000th game in franchise history.
This is the 1,000th game, regular season game in franchise history.
Well, I saw that the other day. When did they do a press about that? The 1,000?
It's in the release.
Yes, that's what it is.
Right here.
Okay.
Notes.
1K.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mickey. I can see it clearly.
Do they have the all-time record there? That's okay if they don't.
No.
Okay. I'm thinking it's a winning record, though.
You think?
All right. I think so.
Once they got past those first, 6 seasons?
Yeah, for a while there it was not. But, all right. So much to get to as we break down this matchup with the Giants. We had Thursday night football last night as well.
Yes, we did.
We've got some availabilities or lack of availabilities for Sunday to talk about as well and what that means for this Dallas defense. You want to start with DaRon Bland?
Yes. As we pointed out, I believe, yesterday, I don't know if you were here at that point or not.
Right, I was a late arrival yesterday.
He will miss multiple games, and so that includes Sunday's game against the Giants, which creates a little bit of a dilemma for the Cowboys.
And Brian Schottenheimer said he'll miss Sunday's game with a foot injury, does not put a timetable on his return, and Reddy Stewart, ready or not, will get quite a bit of action against the Giants.
And he, by the way, was going to be the guy in the slot. The season opener had Diggs not been
able to go
to play. So, yeah, it just makes sense that they'll go with him there. And you got so that puts a bigger priority on Trayvon Diggs playing more than 27 snaps. Now, Schottenheimer also said, will it be the whole game? He said, we'll see. So I'm thinking he's got to play 50 snaps.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
We can't be, lollygagging around.
Okay. All right. Dilly-dally, lollygagging around.
That's right.
It's a lollygagging Friday.
But I think we came into the game knowing that he was going to be on the pitch count from the knee injury. I think we all were just surprised that he played the first game because coming out of camp, we were thinking it was going to be a multiple games.
Or he may not even come off PUP at one point.
Well,
exactly.
And it was more than the knee injury. It was his conditioning that he wasn't ready to play. He hadn't had pads on since December 9th, I think it was, of last year. So they were needing him to ramp up. Well, I think ramping up, he can ramp up in the game. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Because just think, if he, who's going to be the other outside linebacker if Diggs is not in the game and they're in two cornerback set? Bridges?
Right.
I mean, by process of elimination, unless, and I'm assuming they're going to elevate Childress.
Zion Childress.
I mean, they almost have to, just to have enough cornerbacks to survive a game. I don't know you want to do that because Childress, for the majority of training camp and preseason, was playing in the slot also.
And just to familiarize people with Reddy Stewart, because, of course, Reddy Stewart was not with the Cowboys throughout training camp or preseason games, but he was a pickup right at the roster cut down from the Vikings. And in 2024, he got into one game with the Chicago Bears. And, of course, Matt Eberflus was the head coach last year of the Chicago Bears, so there was the familiarity there. And one tackle in his National Football League career.
But he got to play quite a bit in preseason for the Bears. And that's where he kind of made his mark.
Last year with the Bears.
Last year with the Bears. And he had
I think he had a pick six.
He had
or maybe two
pick sixes.
Two picks. Okay.
Yeah. But I think the second one was in the last preseason game.
Okay.
And it was a pick six because he intercepted right about midfield and on the run. So he broke on the ball, and he's at least had experience playing in the slot, probably more so than playing outside. In college, the guy had 12 interceptions in, I think, 2 seasons.
At Troy.
At Troy. And so, and a bunch of returns for touchdowns, too. So I think he's probably got the most experience playing in the slot, so he's got to go. And Bridges has got to be ready on the outside if they need another outside corner.
By the way, speaking of pick sixes, he had 3 pick sixes in college at
3.
Troy. Yes.
Did I say 5?
So, well, 5 if you're going to include his preseason action, too.
Okay.
So anyway, but 5'11", 178 pounds, that's typical slot size. And so there you go. There's Reddy Stewart for you.
And he said he's ready. He said you got to be ready to go when your number's called. So.
Well, that's what gives the challenge to Eberflus in a game like this, even from last week, presenting that pressure on a guy like Russell Wilson. Look, when I look at the wide receivers, especially looking at the body of work that they had last week, I'm not as concerned with this receiving group as I was with the receiving group last week. And, having that familiarity with Eberflus's system, I think really makes it where a guy like Stewart can step right in and you don't have to worry about the cobwebs or at least his familiarity with the defense. But I think for Eberflus, this is going to be a challenge to flushing out a quarterback like Russell Wilson and presenting a ton of pressure.
I know you have healthy respect for Malik Neighbors, though.
No, of course I do.
Right.
Yeah, he's that one guy that I'm saying you got to pay attention to him. And when you don't have DaRon Bland and you're going to rely on a Trayvon.
Here's the deal with the Giants receivers. If the Giants had the Eagles offensive line, then those Giants receivers might be more well thought of around the league than what they are. But they haven't been able to establish much offensively, a lot of it because their quarterback doesn't have much time to throw because they've got problems on their offensive line. But, in fact, we're doing the little telestrator segment with Will McClay yesterday for the Coaches Show. The first thing that he talked about was these wide receivers, and starting with Malik Neighbors. And it's like the Giants have this prototype in their scouting department. This is what we want in a wide receiver, whether it's Malik Neighbors or Darius Slayton or Wan'Dale Robinson, who, by the way, last year had 140 targets and 93 catches last year.
Yeah.
But they're all 4.35 guys. So they have great speed. They have 40 verticals. It's like you go down the line. They're 5 wide receivers. No matter what size they are 4.35 guys with 40 verticals.
Yeah,
so they're athletic guys. And Malik Neighbors is as good as any receiver in the league.
Well,
really.
I don't know if Schottenheimer meant to tip his hand or not when you were talking about pressure, and he was talking about Reddy. And he said, he's more comfortable inside. He has instincts, and he's a really good blitzer.
Yeah, that tells you that he tipped his hand.
So if he's in the slot, what's he doing?
Yeah, he couldn't help it.
And you know what? Sort of in practice yesterday, I saw him doing a drill, and they had the kind of blocking dummies there, and he was knifing through the blocking dummies.
Mick, don't tick. Now you're tilted. Now you're giving away.
But everybody saw it.
Come on, Mick.
It was during the open
session.
Okay.
But Bill, I do have a healthy respect for this wide receiver group. The way that I look at this offense, especially with the way that it's been running over the last couple of years, is they don't have anyone that can get them the ball. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world out there, but when you can't block them up, no protection. We're talking about a left tackle with a Liz Frank injury that we know is not going to play. These guys are, Russell Wilson isn't protected. When things break down, he looks like a shell of himself. And I'm thinking for Eberflus and what he did, especially against Jalen Hurts, you don't even have to really change much for the blueprint going into this game. You just have to smoke this guy out of the pocket. And once he's out of the pocket, I think that's where a guy like Reddy Stewart, talk about his pick sixes and all those things, guys like that can absolutely feast on this offense.
So I don't know if this is smoke screen or not, but after listing Andrew Thomas as a DNP on Wednesday, he was limited yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah. And they came down. In fact, I need to go check in the Giants today to see if anything's been posted on him yet today. I'm not sure how they do their practice schedule there. But it came down to Friday last week before they ruled him out.
Right.
And so he was getting closer last week.
Well, they're
so
an hour
see.
ahead of us.
Yeah, and that may that may make a difference too.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
Yeah. But anything else that you need to get us up to speed on in terms of readiness for the game?
I think they're still not actually for the game, but Schottenheimer pointed out that he did talk yesterday to Clowney, even though he left without an agreement. And I think he was still shopping around. And my question when I was told he was shopping around, it's like, didn't get enough money, did he? Uh-huh. And I think that they made a legitimate offer, but not something like Carolina paid him last year.
Is it true that if a guy is, walking the facility and the word gets out that other teams are like, Dallas is making a move, and that they'll ping his agent to say, wait a minute, before you sign?
You don't know how many times that used to happen in the 90s. Agents would do that all the time. They would say, even if it wasn't true, well, the Cowboys are interested, and if you want the guy, you better hurry up and pay him.
I hate that.
And they would do it. They'd lie because I'd go check, and it's like, you guys are in on this? No, who said that?
Yeah.
I said, well, it was reported. Well, it was an agent threw it out there because if the Cowboys like a guy, everybody should like him.
I could see it. In fact, what happened the other day was right at the Cowboys club level. He's up there watching practice, and so during the open media portion of practice, reporters are able to get pictures of him, and then once they were allowed to, they were able to tweet those out. I could see other teams even saying, let's make the Cowboys pay a little bit more for this player if they want him. Let's express a little bit of interest in him.
Yeah. So anyway, they spoke to him yesterday, but he left without a deal. So I don't know how many weeks you want to forfeit a portion of your salary looking for a better deal if it doesn't come around. And again, it's not like they're desperate, but if you can take advantage of an opportunity, why not for the right price?
Hey, Washington just lost a defensive end in last night's game. Dietrich Wise, Hebron High School, goes down. It's a season-ending quad injury.
Oh, is that what?
And that was a big free agent signing for them in the offseason. He played very well last week against the Giants. If you go watch that tape, I hate it for him, and so Washington's now in the market for a defensive lineman. And so from Clowney's perspective, you wait another week and you don't know where needs are going to arise elsewhere around the league, and that could
up the price,
the ante for
right?
Yeah, I'm watching this rotation in this game versus the Giants. Something you said yesterday really kind of didn't bother. It worried me. I had to go back and check the tape and make sure I was seeing it right on the Giants. When you talk about those drives that didn't end in points for them, but they were in scoring position.
Down the red zone.
And so those things indicate to me that they're just not having success in a certain area, and Cowboy fans can attest to what it feels like to not be able to score once you get to the red zone. Those are the things, when you started to see that, you started to see the teams just basically clamp down on those guys, and especially when you get into that short area. That's where I think Eberflus has to come up platinum. He has to be able to present that pressure. And we're talking a lot about it, and that's why a guy like Clowney is so important, because what is his forte? And that's rushing the passer, getting after you, and also stopping the run. He basically came into the league being a run stuffer at South Carolina.
Well, when you have that many plays 8 yards and in, and you only have one field goal, you got to be able to run the ball. And they didn't run the ball
At all.
Wilson ended up being the leading rusher with 44 yards, and those were scrambles. Those weren't quarterback runs. So, and that's one thing this team needs to understand, because if you stop the run, then your pass rush is more potent. And if you make them one-dimensional. And that pass rush has to get there. And hopefully they watched the game last night to see
he got around to the game last night.
The value of keeping a quarterback in the pocket, right? Jalen Daniels, he didn't win the game this time running around like he did in circles over Detroit, right?
Did you watch number one on the other team?
On which team?
Green Bay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to whip him in there and get some more sacks. Need another loss in the NFC East, right? But yeah, they kept him in the pocket.
A friend of mine, it's actually a friend of mine's son. The son's a friend of mine too, but he's now. He texted me. I woke up to the text this morning. Oh, Micah looked pretty good last night.
Yeah.
What did they expect?
I texted him back and I said, "When has Micah not looked pretty good?" And he said, "Good point."
Yeah, I mean, he makes left tackles, right tackles look average. I mean,
and then he had a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, so
backup guy.
Hey, had you in here last week talking about Penei Sewell not being pretty good.
Well, he wasn't in that game.
He's Penei Sewell. He's pretty damn good. Micah just made him look like a pedestrian, and he's going to do that to everybody. But I think your point about that, I think Daniels didn't have – I mean, even when he tried to run, he was running into a defender. Even when he was looking up the field trying to make a throw, that defensive front for Green Bay just made him uncomfortable. And it's nothing like seeing a second-year quarterback still trying to figure it out. And that's what you saw last night. He doesn't have all the answers. And so when you put him under pressure, just like I'm talking about Russell Wilson in that same breath, make him make the wrong read in a hurry. And Micah may not have had 2 or 3 sacks, but it was the pressures for me. It was the being in your face, making you uncomfortable, flushing you out of the pocket.
Now, you can double check me on this, but I think Daniels got sacked like 4 times. And I think I saw when they list quarterback hits, it was 12. So he was under duress most of the game. And that's what you got. But he didn't run. I think he ran for.
If this is right, they 4 of 20 and 21 pressures last night.
And I don't know about the pressures, quarterback hits and pressures.
Okay.
Sometimes they put them together.
Okay.
All right. And what did he run for? 17 yards.
Yeah. This was 17 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, they stopped the run. They definitely stopped the run and
they
executed.
kept him in the pocket. And that's what the Cowboys have to do with Russell Wilson. What they didn't do with Jalen Hurts. Hurts ran circles around him.
But
So,
in all fairness, though, Green Bay has some guys up front that I think everybody will
gotta
say.
have. But they stayed in their lanes. They didn't collapse.
That is true.
And that's the key. Even if you don't get to them, make them run the play. And I guarantee you, when you play a guy like Daniels, you'd rather have him throwing the ball than running with the ball. And I think it showed that last night.
Okay, we're just getting started on a Friday edition of Mix Shots. When we come back, how about trying to exploit things on the Giants' defense? What do the Cowboys' offensive players need to do? Who's going to step up in this game? When Mix Shots continues in a moment.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Look, school is starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Mixed Shots.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Get behind the scenes look at it at AT&T Stadium. Meet the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and alumni, play games, win prizes, and more. Get your tickets at attstadium.com/rallydays.
All right. What time does that start?
Well,
and Everson's making an appearance there.
Well, I don't have a time.
Probably, I'm going to guess since I know what he has to do beforehand, probably 3 o'clock or so. 2
Okay, so what does he have to do beforehand?
He's
plug your little appearance.
With me with Star Sports.
Star Sports.
Tours.
And what time is that?
We go on at 1:15, and it's at the Frisco Convention Center.
Frisco Convention Center.
Yes.
This week.
Yep.
1:15, and then Rally Days. And then Everson's got something at 1010 Collins. Is that right?
You remembered the address.
Well, he said it so eloquently.
It's across the street from the stadium off of Collins.
Okay, that's on Sunday morning.
That's where they have their tailgate.
Do y'all like noon games on Sunday?
No.
I love them. I love them. Get you up early, get out, get to the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
I do like the Sunday morning drive out because I have to get there about 9 or so.
Yeah, me too.
And it's easy in. I mean, if you go early enough and you tailgate or whatever, then it's great. I don't like any traffic, but traffic leading up to game time where I'm stressed out. I like going early, and so. But there's something about Sunday morning. It's nice,
so what time?
Peaceful Sunday morning. Make the little drive. You're like on a prime time game. You got to deal with rush hour traffic and things like that.
When's your pregame show start?
We go 10:30 on CBS 11.
10:30.
Yep. So
that's early enough for you.
yeah. So I just get out there about 9, get my little prep in ahead of time, and
have breakfast.
There we go. Yep. All right. Cowboys versus this Giants defense. We've talked about the big guys up front, the big guy in the middle, Dexter Lawrence, the guys on the edge. Who is it that needs to step up? Who will step up against this Giants defense this week? What do you think?
It better be the whole offensive line, right?
And Dak has won 13 in a row. CD's won 8 in a row against this Giants team.
He's only
going back
lost
to his rookie year.
2 games to the Giants, and they were his rookie year. 21-20 or 2019?
2019 was his first game.
And then 10-7.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going Williams. Williams has to be big. Offensive line clearly has to be big. I thought with Philadelphia, and I was so nervous for them against Philadelphia because I felt like before, Hawk Tua took himself out of the game, Jalen Carter, I felt like that was going to be a big-time challenge for these guys. The rookie Booker had to live up to the draft. But, man, this is one of those games when you talk about the guys up front for the Giants that's literally the same with the playmakers and the big names that are up there. Take the fight to them, establish the line of scrimmage, and also get Javonte Williams his carries. Miles Sanders has to atone for the fumble and the goal line, but using both of these guys against this Giants team is going to be very important. But also, look, beating them up. This is, for Coach Brian Schottenheimer, that level of, we talked about culture, but the level of toughness that his team has to be known for to go through the NFC East, you're going to see these guys again, so may as well set the tone early.
Yeah, the offensive line has to, I thought that was maybe the most surprising part of the first game. And I know Jalen Carter wasn't there, but they had everybody else, and they kind of handled it. Now, can you do it again and step up a little bit better? Because Dexter Lawrence is every bit as good as Carter. And then they got the pass rushers between Thibodeau, Burns, and Abdu Carter. And like I pointed out yesterday, I saw some columnists in one of the New York papers saying, hey, I want to see all 3 of those guys on the field at the same time, 3 pass rushers. And I'm sure they can do it.
And they did it at times last week against Washington, too.
Move one of them inside, and you got 3 pass rushers on the field.
Yeah, it's that. And also we talked a little bit about our tight end. Being able to get Jake Ferguson involved in this offense so that he can just soften the middle of this secondary will allow you to make plays with guys like CeeDee Lamb and also George Pickens. So he has to be a big part of this also. And Mickey's guy, Cavante, that's what it is.
Hand it to him.
You know what? When this show is over with, when we're done with this season, you're going to love me like Cavante Turpin. Like you love Cavante Turpin, that's how you're going to love me. And this is a game for Cavante Turpin. He could absolutely explode in this game with the specialty plays that they have with him. Because, look, the Giants' defense is overly aggressive. They're going to be trying to get up the field to get to Dak. And a guy like Cavante Turpin could be huge in this game.
Well, I thought Schottenheimer pointed out a good thing because of the outside receivers with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They've got to concentrate on those guys. So now you've got basically a linebacker running with Jake Ferguson down the middle of the field. And he was basically pointing out that that's a great timing play that they have to be better at than they were this past game. Dak came up a little bit short. The linebacker got underneath it. But if you can fit it over the linebacker and before the safety, it's a pretty good weapon since they got to concentrate with their defensive backs on the 2 outside guys. And then somebody's got to run with Turpin, as you pointed out, out of the slot. And they don't have enough guys to cover.
And Hunter Lipke. Can we get an APB out on Hunter Lipke?
I was just thinking about that this morning because I was.
What's going on with
I like studying other teams around the league, and this morning I was looking at what happened. And it takes me all week to go through all the games that were played last week. I mean, we're already one game into this week, and I'm still studying last week's and San Francisco-Seattle game. I've always thought, or at least in the last year or so, I've thought that Hunter Lipke is kind of the Kyle Juszczyk starter kit for the Cowboys. I'm not saying he's an 8-time.
Yes, you are.
But
that's the comp.
He can be used in that same way. And Juszczyk against Seattle last week had 38 snaps. Okay, and what did Lipke had?
8.
Okay, 8 snaps, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I thought I had the same thought that you had. Okay, on Lipke. Okay, and when we've heard him talked about so much by Schottenheimer, how much he loves him, how much an integral part of things he is on this offense. And what I said to myself when I had that thought was, it's been one game. Okay, I'm overreacting to one game when I'm thinking that. We got to get through. Let's get through September and we'll have a much better idea of how guys are going to be used, because some of it is just specific game plan for whatever your opponent is. So,
I mean, he is a weapon, and we've seen him in his use, especially out in the flat. Especially when they're in man and everybody's taking off. That to me stops Dak from taking off. Look. I don't want him to do it, all right? I want Dak to stay in the pocket, run when you need to. But if you got a Hunter Lipke sitting out there in the flat, get it to him. If he can block or chip or do some of that and release out into the flat, use him like that. Because I know that this Giants defense, this Giants team, they don't want to go 0-2. I mean, 0-2 for them, it would be tragic.
So, but then the other consideration you have, if he's on the field, who's not on the field?
I mean, it's situational. Everything is situational in football. So if you know that, then you know that you have to be able to use him.
Is he the running back?
Just depends. You can have an H-back. You can have an H-back. You can put him in motion. You can put him at tight end.
Yeah, he's your second tight end.
Yeah. Somebody's got to come off the field.
Like Schoonmaker comes off the field, and Lipke is in that role where you're
right.
Where you can have a third down back on the field at the same time.
And I have no qualms about taking Schoonmaker off the field when it comes down to needing somebody extra to be in and block.
Well, but you're going to have, if you're in nickel, though, you got 3 wide receivers. You can't have 2 running backs, right?
But everything is situational. So what I'm saying is, if I can use Hunter Lipke in a situation where I'm chipping on Thibodeau or just using him on the outside, he doesn't have to play 30. Well, you're talking about Juszczyk played 39 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
If they give this kid 15.
Right.
I think that at least gets him into the rhythm of a game and at least makes him a viable threat to the defense.
So Lipke last year had 443 snaps. I don't have the percentage, but that's roughly over 40% of the offensive snaps last year.
Right.
With the roster and assuming everybody, whatever, is not going to stay healthy, but it's relatively healthy, what would be ideal, the percentage of snaps for Lipke throughout the season? 30% of the snaps? That would be, I mean, if you get 65 snaps in a game, 20 snaps, 60 snaps, 20, that's 33%, whatever.
Yeah, I think 15 to 20 snaps.
Yeah. So that's, I agree, 30%. Yeah. I think that's a good percentage for him, and that's a healthy workload.
Because what happened last year was he basically was the third down back. I mean, because of his blocking ability and being able to protect the quarterback. Yeah, I mean, that was a role that, especially once Rico became the starter, and then, basically, that was one of the things that surprised me about the running back rotation. And what really showed me they love Lipke is that he was basically the third down back last year.
And they had him all over the offensive formation in practice during training camp. So, I mean, he was everywhere. That he only got 8 snaps. They must have had a reason on how they were trying to attack Philadelphia. That that they didn't go as much. They didn't even really go that much to tight end, I don't think.
And then how much did the game plan change when Carter is
You
out?
want to call him Haktua, didn't you?
I had to think.
It probably changed a lot, and Dak even mentioned that. Once the protection changed, because they probably schemed all week to make sure that they were, counting him in the middle. I think one of the great things about going back and watching the film is seeing these guys get to the second level. And this is one of those games where, especially when we talk about where the Giants are weak right now, and it's at their linebacker. One of their linebackers is gone. They got a guy coming in that was circled, as you talked about yesterday. Mm-hmm. You want to attack that guy. You want to attack him early and often in this game. So running the ball right at this defense is the way to go. 220 yards really surprised everyone. But I think that balance with a healthy dose of CD and Pickens is going to be needed.
The second tight end and the third tight end, so Schoonmaker and Ford. Schoonmaker had 15 snaps and Ford had 10 snaps. So 25 snaps. Usually if they're in, it's two tight end, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, an update from New York. Dable has his press availability on Friday mornings, and so that's why we have a little bit of an update.
Very good.
He said that Andrew Thomas took a good amount of reps yesterday, and he will practice again today. As far as his availability for Sunday, Dable said that they will see how he feels after practice today.
That means he'll be in street clothes.
Okay.
That's the way I interpret it.
Code word, street clothes.
Okay. All right. So we shall see. All right. We got our picks to click, and who wins on Sunday when we come back on Mix Shots.
Look, school is starting, and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mixed Shots.
Cowboy Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is exclusively in the Dallas Cowboy app. Join official fans club today to receive access to Cowboys Drops, where you can win game tickets, autographed items, exclusive experiences, and more. Download the app now to join.
All right, final few minutes here of Mix Shots. Jerry was on the radio today. Anything we need to know?
He was.
Okay.
Let me review things here.
Okay, you review from your legal pad there.
He talked a lot about other stuff, not actually the game.
Because they're playing the Giants.
Right.
No, he didn't talk about who's healthy, who's game scratch, any of those.
He talked about Bland, and he talked about Diggs. If we need him to get more reps, he'll get more reps. And so I took that as he will get more reps. And then he also pointed out that I think someone asked him about, you sign a guy, give him an extension, and then he gets hurt. And he goes, well, that's what I was pointing out. Just because you sign him doesn't mean you got him for the whole season. And
Knew that was coming.
boy, you knew where that was headed, right? Let's see what else. He mentioned, they asked him about Clowney, and he said, more people you have on the field, it helps out because this game's more than just about one person. And he went on to point out about the trade with Micah, pointing out that part of the trade is the money you create under the salary cap that no one points out. So that was, I think those were the highlights there.
Yeah, to me,
He also said, we had him for 4 years. One guy doesn't do it by himself.
Well, linebackers have to be better in this game.
Unless it's the,
Can we talk about that?
The quarterback.
Your linebackers have to be better. And regardless if you have Clowney or not, or whoever is out there, your linebackers have to be better. And you talk about stopping the run and not allowing those long drives and not allowing these guys to score. But Sam Williams, Ezeraku, guys like that, getting to the quarterback and getting them down. We missed a lot. Obviously, coverage sacks and not coverage sacks, but coverage breakdowns, and then Jalen Hurts gets out on you. Do not allow for Russ to cook.
Well, they should have had coverage sacks, and they didn't.
No, that's what I was
saying. Because the coverage was good.
Yeah. So Kenny Clark on defense, he looked pretty good. He showed us why they brought a player like him in because of his ability to take on that 2 gap and hold his ground, but also shoot the gap as well. He and Osa look good together, but also Solomon Thomas. Mm-hmm. So look, I think collectively as a group, and I'm just talking about the front right now instead of the secondary, the front, they can really, as we talked about the offensive line, the defensive front can also win this game.
Another guy we mentioned early in the week for the Giants, Chauncey Golston, wearing number 57 for them. Have you ever a chance to look at him in a Giants uniform? He looks, and we were talking earlier this week, and the way he was used by the Cowboys is he's like a tweener.
Both, yeah.
But he looks more like an edge guy. Maybe
Yes.
it's because of the number he's wearing, 57 instead of 99. But he looks like maybe he's slimmed down some.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't, when they said his name, I said, that's Chauncey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because when he came out of Iowa, I think he was 277 pounds, and his playing weight even here was maybe 267. He looks like he may be down around 255, 257, something like that now. He looks more like an edge guy than he does an inside guy.
And maybe the weight also, the different scheme, playing in the 3-4 basically instead of playing in the 4-3.
And a stand-up defensive end a lot of times.
Right. So slimming down probably was advantageous for him to be.
It fits right in with those edge guys like Brian Burns, like Thibodeau, like Abdul Carter, and Chauncey Golston is the fourth of those.
They got him listed at 277.
And that was what he came into the league at, and so I wouldn't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I think he's on the Ozempic.
His combine weight was 277.
Was it?
So,
okay.
And he just seemed to be wider in the hips than what he looks now. He looks like he's slimmed down some. Anyway, that's just an observation that I had. All right, so who wants to go first on your picks?
Are we picking a player and
a player
and a score?
Player let me give you Everson's first.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
This will set us up here.
He normally goes first, right?
Yep. Okay. So Everson.
I think it was, let me guess, Javonte Williams.
Okay. Wait a second. Where is he? Did I lose him?
His was Javonte Williams, 2 TDs.
He did it on a different thread than this, I guess. There it is. He didn't do it on our mix shots one.
Ain't that something? He wanted to make sure they really got out, huh?
Okay. Guys, I won't make it tomorrow. It's 10:42 last night. That's totally my bad. Okay. Javonte Williams, 2 touchdowns. So his pick to click is Javonte Williams. His score, Cowboys win 24-10.
24-10.
24-10. So I will play the role of Everson and write down our picks here.
Okay.
On our text. Okay.
Or just keep that text.
Well, I'm going to write y'all's down, too. Okay. So, Heckman, you want to go next?
I will go next. I am going to go with Mickey's favorite. I'm going to go Kevontae Turpin, breaking this one open. And I'm just going to give him a touchdown. But still, I think he has some big plays, special teams, and on offense. And I'm going to go Cowboys 26-13.
26-13.
Yeah.
Okay. Mickey
Me?
next. Yeah, because
I thought he was going to steal my pick, but he didn't do it. So I'm going Sam Williams.
Sam Williams.
And I've got Cowboys.
You get any specifics on Sam?
Well, he's going to create some sacks.
He's going to create sacks. Is that
create sacks by himself.
Okay.
And pressures, too, by the way. And stand up against the run. All around. He's got one game under his belt since 2023, and I think he's ready to flourish.
Are you going to go so far as to say he will have a sack?
Yes.
Okay. Sack.
Not create sacks.
Create sacks.
Got to come up with one
well,
on his own.
Well, he's got to create them for himself, right?
He could create them.
And Cowboys 30-17.
30-17. And Heckman, did you say 1 or 2 touchdowns for Turpin?
I'm going to go 1.
1 touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going 1.
All right.
Love to say 2.
If they would kick it to him, he might have 2.
My pick to click is the guy who's been on the jugs machine all week long.
Yeah, that was my next thought.
Say it's a guy. He's ticked off to come in on his day off.
Even through his gloves, his hands are so calloused from that jugs machine this week. C.D. Lamb is going to have a monster game. CD 3?
3. Whoa!
Just because
jumping out the cake, Bill.
Because it rhymes with CD.
All right.
CD 3.
I like it.
And I'm going.
Come on.
40.
40-17
Cowboys.
This is a whooping.
We're going to break out a can.
You're going with the burger. I like it.
It's a big game for Dak. If CD's
having
3, okay, because Pickens is going to get 1.
So who gets 30? Who gets the 30? Who gets the 30th touchdown against the Giants for the Cowboys?
Mind you, this is also in September where nobody gets 30 points in games unless you're Buffalo, Baltimore, and Jets and Pittsburgh. They had 4 of the 5 teams that got 30 last week. Cowboys are going to be the first or the next to 40.
If this offensive line can do the job, they will score 30 or more points.
Okay.
And we want to make, I guess we can't say a wager. How about a prediction that the first play goes to C.D. Lamb?
Okay.
First play from scrimmage.
First play.
We're all in agreement on that, right?
I think that's
so.
okay. I mean, they're going to want to get him going, right?
Yeah, but the Giants know that too.
So you got
So it's going
documented.
to Pickens then.
Yep, I got it documented. All right, that does it. Again, you're at what time again tomorrow?
1:15.
1:15 at the Frisco Convention. Any other late message that you want to give to your fans out there? Heck,
anything that I want to say?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Cowboy Nation, I hope your team win!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!